Viewers, we're getting more breaking news in terms of the attacks that continue to escalate and mount from the U.S. side. U.S. Department of War comes out to flaunt two Iran ship kills. Department of War has put it up out there, and I quote, sunk Iran warships in the Strait of Hormuz, struck Soleimani-class corvette at Hormuz, struck an Iranian ship at its shore. Iran's guardian of Hormuz at the sea's bottom. This is what we are learning. That is what the Department of War has in fact come out to not just declare, but very happily declare for that matter, flaunt it out for that matter, to in fact bring out their achievements in terms of attacks that have been taking place. And yes, as we were mentioning about these two particular ships that have been downed by the United States, that have been sunk by the United States, it is the U.S. Department of War reporting the sinking of multiple Iranian warships near the Strait of Hormuz. Now, when we speak of the Strait of Hormuz, viewers, it is a very crucial stretch in the Gulf region, which in fact controls a majority of energy supply globally. And that is exactly why the Strait of Hormuz has been a point of attention, has been a point of focus for globally, for all nations, even India included, to understand who is finally gaining control over that very region. It was initially said that the Strait of Hormuz had been blocked by the Iranian side, but then the United States have been amping up their operations in that very particular region to ensure that the Strait of Hormuz remains to be open and trade globally doesn't face a major crisis. And not just trade, but energy supply globally doesn't face a major crisis. And that is why the Strait of Hormuz and any and every operation that takes place there is very, very crucial. And that is exactly why we see the United States coming out to in fact flaunt these two particular attacks that have taken place, and successful attacks on their part, because one Soleimani corvette has been sunk and the other Iranian ship has also been sunk at the Strait of Hormuz. We have Rohit Sharma joining us on the broadcast, back with us. Rohit, let's just understand, as we are speaking of the Department of War, in fact, flaunting their achievements at this point of time, the attacks that have taken place, two ships having been sunk by them. The Strait of Hormuz remains to be at a very critical point at this, as we speak, because that is what controls a majority of the energy supply in the world. And yes, when we speak of the Department of War claiming that the particular ship that used to guard that very Strait of Hormuz from the Iranian side has been downed, that comes in as a big win for them.
Absolutely. And, we've obviously seen that some major shipping countries have even put a hold and suspended cargo booking in the Strait of Hormuz because they don't think it's safe. So the more companies decide to do that, and if Iran, what we also learned yesterday was the fact that they were only allowing some Chinese vessels to pass through. It's going to put a strain not only for the Gulf countries, but for everybody else in the world, because it's very, very, very important. So as this war escalates, as the war drags on, as Iran does what it does, and the relentless attacks by the United States, I think we are going to see a more global impact than what we've seen in the past 4 days. We're already seeing the price of oil and gas ramping up. We're already seeing Qatar deciding not to produce LPG. And there are certain areas that, frankly, that are very worried about what happens not only in Gulf, but around the world. So I think, as I was saying earlier when we were talking, the Iranians are trying to find an off-ramp at this point in time. But unless and until all the U.S. targets are met, we don't think this would de-escalate anytime soon. Shreya.
Right, Rohit, do stay with us. We have more breaking news coming in at this point of time. Let's quickly take a look as to what we are learning. But yes, viewers, before, in fact, moving on to that very breaking news, this is a very crucial operation that we are speaking of when we speak of the United States and its attacks and them amping up their attacks in the Strait of Hormuz, given that Strait of Hormuz controls a majority of the energy supply in this very region. For the Gulf countries itself, it's very, very crucial in terms of their oil supplies and the oil trade that they continue with the world, and which is why this region the Strait of Hormuz remains to be very crucial for the United States to, in fact, have control of.